My hair's a little all over the place. Crazy. Uh, I looked into yesterday, I did a meditation. I couldn't find the time to get on yesterday, so I'll just share with you what I got yesterday. I was really, a friend called and she was freaking out a little bit about everything that's happening. And she may or may not sell her house. She was thinking about renting it, moving to, not leaving the country, but just moving, and not sure what she's going to do. But the more we talked, I had to, you know, she just lived in a lot of fear. She didn't want to, but that just seems to be what was happening. She was trying not to. Anyway, so I did a meditation on what's happening, the ICE, the immigration, customs enforcement, mask man army that they're coming up with. And it, as the more after a while, I got into that energy, and it was really kind of a downer. So I was like, I can't go on and talk about that when I'm feeling kind of yucky. Hence these root chakra things that make me feel secure. So today, feeling lighter, feeling better. We got Zelenskyy going to the White House. I don't know if I'm going to put this up before that happens, but I'm going to tell you, I got into his energy and tell you what he was feeling as he went into this. It won't be surprising. I also got into Stephen Miller's yucky, taking away the energy, the yucky off of me. I got into his energy. Also not surprising. John Homan, the border czar guy who he partners with ICE and everything, and Kristi Noem. All of them, the lovely trio of Trinity of Terror. Remember that old movie? Was it Trinity of Terror or something? Trilogy of Terror. Yeah. Anyway, that was a kind of crazy movie with the little creepy guy with the knife. Some of you who are older might remember that from the 70s. Anyway, yeah. And I also, the energy of Skinwalker Ranch, somebody had asked me about that. So that was really interesting because I had heard it, the name, many times. And I always had thought, I never researched or anything. They say it's in Utah. So I looked into that, and that is pretty wild, the images I got for that too. This is my Otter Spirit bracelet card. Today is hematite. I remain unshaken during challenging times. That is the vibe. That is where I am working on trying to manage. And I think maybe you guys are too. This hematite, which is the silver one, is my Otter Spirit bracelet. You guys know I partner with them. There's a discount code in the description box, but this is for protection, balance. Zodiac signs are Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn, Leo. I have a moon in Capricorn. My sun's in Leo, so that's perfect. And it's the root chakra. So feeling secure, feeling safe. And this is very substantial. And this is a sunstone, which is, I just felt like it today. It feels Leo-ish. Because Leo is the sign that rules the sun. I don't know. I'm feeling like I need that extra push. Anyway, they are an awesome company. If you guys are interested, the link is below, and they give a little piece of each bracelet or each product to the Wild Otter Fund in Southern California. Okay, it's going back. I have a weird wave to my hair ever since I had chemo. I'm at 11 years now. No, 12. Gosh. 12. Anyway, ever since then, I used to have pick straight hair. Ever since then, I got this weird goofy wave, and unless I curl it, it goes, it's all over the place. But I'm fine. Everything's good with that. It's just, actually, I got volume when I didn't used to have volume. I had very flat hair, so it's a good thing. Today, I wanted to say thank you very much. Lovely, you guys, just whoever commented on my post about my reflection and growth as I'm learning lessons with my channel. I'm fairly new at this-ish, and I learn as I go, and you guys are a mirror. So I love that. And I also have my opinions. I'm not going to apologize for those, but I also know I need to do research. And sometimes I'm a little flippant, and I realize I can't do that. I need to be cautious and also clear and very specific with my words, because I think sometimes misinterpreted isn't the right word. It's not clear. And so if I'm not clear, you guys think it's this, and maybe I mean that. And so anyway, but thank you very much. And I thank you for all those of you who stick around and keep watching. I love it. And if you share, that'd be great. So I wanted to start off with, I mentioned my friend who is getting really scared. She feels like the military, he's going to send the military to all these cities, all the blue cities, when we all know that 8 of the top 10 dangerous cities are in red states, which I hate using those words, but that's the terminology they're using to divide us. And it's completely unethical and immoral and wrong, because it is not for United States, it's for divided states. And looking into that energy, I got into, I wanted to see, is that going to happen? Now, yesterday, because of this energy, I absorbed some of her fear. And I'm being honest. Maybe that was me coughing it out. I absorbed some of her fear just through talking. Or I was very empathic, as I am. So I got into that energy. And that's why I couldn't do the video. I just felt like I wasn't in the right headspace. Anyway, so that's why it's really important. It's a good reminder. It's why it's really important when you hear that stuff from the media, or you talk to people who are like, the world is ending. If you take that on, and it's so easy to do, like, look at me, it's easy to do, especially when you're compassionate to other people, and you're like, oh, they're saying stuff that could be really true, and you have a good imagination. Anyway, my point is, just keep that in mind as you're navigating your feelings, your emotions. The other day I did that video about light and darkness in dark times. By focusing on the dark, we're just going to increase the dark. And bringing light to the situation, or focusing on the light and having faith, big picture, it will bring light to the situation and ultimately transform it. We don't know when, but it ultimately will be transformed into a better situation. It happens to all of us. So it's a work in progress. Anyway, so she said she was worried about the emergency in all the different cities, and I wanted to look to see if that was going to be true, and then I pivoted into Steve Miller. But I do feel that, yes, they are going to try that in like places like Chicago, I don't know, Portland, what other blue cities? I don't think they can do it in New York. I don't know what other blue cities. LA, they were there and then they left. Maybe San Francisco. I don't see that happening. I do feel like he is going to try some more. They're going to, especially when there's more protests. There was protests, King's protest in Arizona the other day. I posted a little short video my friend sent, which is awesome. And somebody had asked about where to get the protests, like the information, like where they are. And I'll put some in the description box, so that way, some links to, or maybe I'll post them in my community post, and that way you can have those, and if they're close to you, you can go to them or support them in whatever way that is. I do see, though, ICE doing more of those raids. See, there's difference. There's the military, the National Guard, and that's Trump's doing, and then the ICE, who are just the masked men coming to take away everybody that's brown and doesn't speak English, and they're just pulling people without any due process. So I do see the National Guard, but they're under different rules. The National Guard is under different rules. It's not the same as the ICE. ICE has got more free reign, honestly. And it's not John Homan. I said that incorrectly. I think it's Tom Homan. I needed to correct myself about the border czar guy. Because they have so much money, they are going to be hiring tons more people, and that is going to be an issue. But I also saw that Kristi Noem, or the head, they're going to create, I know it's a department of ICE or the division, but there's going to be another subdivision of ICE that'll be more permanent once Trump is out of office and the Republicans are no longer in power. They're not going to demonetize it or defund it completely. I do feel like they're going to defund it somewhat, but it's always going to be there because they need to control the border. The border needs to be controlled in general anyway. But some of this will remain. Not the cities, not the terrifying, not the horrible actions and lack of your citizens' rights, but some of it will remain in some of the cities. No, I'm sorry, not in some of the cities. Some of it will remain as in the next while, um, as we still deal with the border situation. Because that funding is really good also for judges, because we need a lot more judges at the border. That would we've always needed them, but they've never been funded, because that's why it took so long. People were in the States for a long time and they couldn't get to court, and it took forever. So that's why they needed to have more court judges that oversaw these asylum seeking things. Anyway, I'm rambling, sorry. I wanted to see what Miller's goal was, because I don't feel this is about Trump too, but it's mostly Stephen Miller and those Project 2025 people. And he is the instigator, plus I can't remember the guy's name who helped write it. That is the driver. So I'm Stephen Miller's energy, and I think I've told you before. I think in a past life he was Joseph Goebbels from the years of our German Nazi guys. Anyway, so I see him sitting at a table, and he's building a castle, which is really weird. He's building a castle out of not Legos, but some other, I don't know. It's like sugar, like crystal blocks, but they're big. Like if you made little cinder blocks out of sugar, brown sugar. He was making and he even made a couple towers, but this wall faced him. Like if I'm building it, I'm him, but on the other side, it was open. So he was blocking out, or he was creating a surrounding machine that would keep them. Maybe that's why the castle is kind of brownish, because of the brown people. He was creating a place for them to go, like the alligator Alcatraz in Florida. And by the way, the courts, they're going to have so many fights, and some of that I think will eventually go to international courts. A lot of this inhumane treatment, it's going to be lasting for years. A lot of lawsuits. Anyway, this castle type thing with this, and he's got it in his mind. It almost feels like a toy, like a boy playing in his castle. Like I'm going to do this. He really, really, when I'm in his energy, he really doesn't think, and please don't take this anybody, brown people or people that don't speak English first language, he feels like they're dirty, and he feels like they're dumb, and he doesn't want them here. And I know that's horrible. That's kind of idiocracy we're dealing with here. He is very racist, very racist. And I thought he was Jewish, so that makes zero sense to me. He feels like he wants to protect us or the US, so he's like kind of encircling them with this brown castle thing. And I'm thinking, well, what about even children? Like, does he feel guilty about taking children away? And no, he doesn't. He wants to remove all of them. He doesn't want them necessarily killed or hurt. He doesn't care, but he also is not wanting him here, because he feels like, I sense that he feels like it's a detriment to the country, and it only makes us weak and lack the purity that we used to be. Yes, that's what he feels. That's the feeling I have. Yeah, I said he thinks they're dirty and they're bad and they're brown and stupid. And I don't see any ending. I told you that. It's going to pivot and it's going to change into another form. And they are creating sort of an army, but try not to flip out about that. It's more just a number of people that they can call upon. And there are a couple. Was it Dean Cain? He signed up to be part of this ICE thing. It's like, you played Superman. Why? Why would you do this? And I think people think it's getting rid of crime. And there are criminals, and as they pick them up, I'm not saying that's not, but say 20% are, or 15 or even 10, and the other 90% are just people. people that have a right to be here, not even asylum seekers, just because they have different color, and it just gives them a right to hurt and be cruel. I don't know if Dean Cain's being cruel, but I think he has his ideal that he's going to take care of the criminals. It also feels like it's a sanctioned white nationalist activity. Like, I think there's a portion of this ICE that attracts white nationalists. I know it's not shocking. That's not forever, and I think it's the same portion that's always been around in the country. So I don't think that's growing. That's not going to grow. So that's just type of people it attracts. That's all. So this is the kind of vibe I'm getting into. Yesterday I was like, I don't like it. I just realized I hadn't had my coffee yet. Maybe that'll help. I see that Kristi Noem is not going to last. There's that comedian who makes fun of her. I forget. And she also does that daily Caroline Levitt impersonation with the crosses. So funny. She is so funny. She does these shorts on YouTube. I don't know her name, but hysterical. And the more we do this, the more we ridicule, the better it is. So let's just keep at it. But I see Kristi Noem not lasting. I feel like she's going to fade away. I don't think it's going to be a one-time thing where she does something bad and Trump's going to say, no. I feel like something... she's not going to disagree with them. Something personal, maybe. Something she has to do. I don't know if she's married. I'm assuming she's still married. Something personal may come up where it's going to be too hard for her to juggle both. Although she's constantly traveling, she's constantly staying in jails and standing there with her hat on. Do you guys ever look at her picture years ago? Maybe I'll post it right here. Years ago, and what she looks now? Tell me there's no plastic surgery there. Riddle me that, Batman. How does that happen when a person gets older? Anyway, she's not going to last. I think it's something personal. I don't know if it's a relationship thing that may change things. Although with Lauren Boebert and MTG, that didn't change anything. But I don't feel like she's going to stick. There's something. Not right away. Down the road. Something's going to happen. She's not going to be there. But it'll be like a fade away. Maybe it has to do with the midterm after he's out of office and they don't have as much power, and her job is going to be limited, and maybe that's what she's going to do, and maybe she'll, I don't know, run for president or something. I have no idea. And Republicans are not pushing back, obviously, enough. Tom Homan, I saw him when I got into his energy. I got him. He's very administrative. I feel like he's the one that oversees the day-to-day activities. And I don't feel he's like racist like Stephen Miller. I mean, of course, race plays a part. But when I'm in, he feels like he has a duty. This is his calling to be like a, not military, but a sheriff. Like somebody who's cleaning up the town. That's kind of vibe. Whoever it is. Not necessarily black or brown people, just that. But he's also giving them lots of leeway to pick up people that aren't criminals. So there you go. The other day when I got into the energy and I saw that meeting between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump in Alaska, and I saw Putin hit like a dog with its neck out the window, very excited. He was so excited. He was giddy. He couldn't wait to get there. And man, oh man, I was right about that. Man, oh man, he was happy. And Trump is like clapping like Nancy Reagan did when Ronnie would get off a plane. It was just like that feeling. And I was like, he gave him everything. He gave him everything. Oh, and then by the way, they did have him private chats inside the limos. There was no translator or no people, or maybe the translators are sworn to secrecy. I don't know. But I think Putin speaks English, so it doesn't really matter. After that, now, Donald Trump wants to get rid of voting machines and mail-in ballots for the midterms. That will not happen. He says, I'm going to sign an executive order. Okay, people, that is like literally like 15 months from now. Do you think that's going to happen logistically? No. Mail-in ballots? Who uses mail-in ballots? Democrats? Military. Military has to have mail-in ballots because they're overseas. Are we going to limit the military from voting? And that can't happen. I do think Putin had something to do with that. He gave him an idea. The other thing is that it's another fight that we don't have to focus on the Epstein files, people. This is all a bait and switch, smoke and mirrors. Don't look over here. These aren't anything you want to see. You want to look over here where all the drama and the excitement and the flashbang stuff is happening. This is all about that. So it's not going to happen. And there's not enough time, for one. And I don't think the Republicans are going to vote for that. Let me think. Mike Johnson. Actually, Mike Johnson will bring it up. And I'm in his energy. He definitely will bring it up. But it won't pass. Okay, there we go. So I think that's my feeling that right now. The meeting in the White House with Putin, when I'm in Trump's energy, he's very disappointed. And I feel like there's something in his pants in this moment, if you know what I mean. I feel like it's not good. Like kind of stinky, if you know what I mean. And I think that was difficult and for him, but c'est la vie. But Trump was upset a little that he didn't get Putin to do what he wanted, but that's also a fake, not fake news is the right word, but it was it's an illusion, because he got something he wanted out of it personally, but not for the country. It was all like I told you before on that, it's theater. It was just theater and nothing was real what we saw. It was all an illusion. And they said they were going to have the post press conference if they got something or didn't get something, but no, they didn't do anything. They didn't even have their lunch. He left. And so Putin controlled the dynamic, but Trump got something out of it. Don't know what that is exactly, but Putin got much more. He got validation and got the red carpet and stood his little size 7 man shoe on that red carpet. Anyway, as we move forward, today is the meeting with Zelenskyy and all of those European leaders, France, Keir Starmer, Macron, Merz, is that the guy from Germany, the chancellor? And then the EU Secretary General, or whatever her name is. Vendelier or something, I can't remember. And then Finland will be there too, because Finland's got a lot to say in this. They're right next to Russia. Zelenskyy, I feel, is so tight, so rigid. When I'm in his energy, I don't feel like one cell will be out of place. I feel like everything is here, tight to my chest, and maybe close to my chest, close to my vest, keep all your, and it felt like he had his cards. Super all the cliches, keeping the cards close to my chest. And of course, he's gonna control his emotions. That's part of this. He feels like he has to control. But the European folks, the leaders, are there to support him. But I think everyone learned from the last meeting, the horrific, embarrassing, shameful meeting that was in the Oval Office with Zelenskyy and Trump, and especially Vance. My sense is that something like that will be possible because we don't want Trump. Trump can't feel like he's being bullied. He can't feel like he's being cornered, because then he lashes out like a scared dog. He can't be in that position, so they have to be very careful to manage him. I guess this hasn't been the case where they've had so many leaders come here in the White House for, I don't know, ever, decades, all at the same time. So the security must be up insane. But when I'm in Zelenskyy's energy, I feel happy at the end of it. I feel relief, and it may even be happening right now. I don't know, but I feel relief that I'm protected, or I have these people behind me. I feel like they're all behind me, the European leaders, although Starmer, I think, and Trump get along fine. But he's kind of a weak guy, so I think he goes with the flow. That's my impression of him. He's learning on the job what to do, and I think he's, he doesn't, I mean, I don't know exactly even what's happening at home with him, but I feel like he isn't well liked, but at the same time, I feel like he is learning on the job and he has accumulated some knowledge and he's made um, some strides for himself in this job. I don't know what that looks like, but yeah. But I do feel like he's weak. I don't feel like he's just placating Trump, Oh, is the guy from NATO coming? The Denmark guy who just calls Trump his daddy? He might even be here. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. Anyway, they are going to have to kiss his ass so he doesn't feel cornered. There's going to be private meetings. Zelenskyy feels so much relief when he sees everybody and he feels at ease. And I feel like Trump's kind of in the picture. Rubio will be talking more. I feel like he's more, like there's too many things moving, like elderly person, senile, or, dementia addled a little. They can't keep track. They call it can't track the conversation. It's like that. I feel like he can't keep up with the different pieces or parts. And he's looking to his staff, Rubio, and even Vance to report. And he'll be there and he'll shake hands and he'll look presidential and he'll answer questions at some point. But when it comes to the negotiations, he can only do, it seems like only one-on-one, because the group thing where he goes, okay, well, we all agree to this. I feel like the European Union people, or Western Europe, is in one room, and then the Americans or Trump are in another. Trump meets with Zelenskyy by themselves at some point, in front of the group or the crowd or the reporters another point, and then all the other countries at another point. What is going to come out of it if I look at... Okay, I see a road. So say this is the outcome. I see a road and I know it's a long process. I don't think it's going to be... Anyway, I'll tell you what I see. I'm like a road, Route 66 across the west country, across Arizona and everything. It's just flat. Some areas of Arizona are really flat. And it feels like that's the word. But then there's this soft hill, going up a hill and go down a hill, go up. And it's green hills on either side. And I don't see any impediments. I don't see any hurdles. I don't see any rock slides or anything. It's open. So there's open road. So we can travel in this goal. And now when I think about the Ukrainian war, the Russians, how can we... So the agreement will be with these countries and Zelenskyy. Now when it comes to Ukrainian war, Zelenskyy with Russia, or Putin... Oh, then I see a dark cloud over here. And it's occurring. Like this road is fine, it's good. But way out in the distance to the left, I see this dark cloud that like fighting and not flames, but smoke rising. We're not going towards it though. It's to the left. It's like we're way far away. We can't even see. All we see is the smoke and I don't know, not quite bombs. I don't see any red flashes, but just big smoke and leftover war images. It's kind of like what I see over there. But it's far away, and so that tells me that the ceasefire... And it's funny, Russia is straight ahead. Ukraine is here, Russia is straight ahead. So the fighting is on Ukraine's side, of course. And Russia doesn't feel like he's not part of it. But I know it is because they're not. So I feel like they still don't feel like they're hurt. I know they are. In this conflict, 1 million people have died. Not necessarily. And Russia has taken those children and it's terrible. Anyway, I see them green. I feel like they're not ready to change anything. Ukraine is suffering. They're the ones suffering. A long time ago, I saw that Ukraine eventually will give up a portion just to make it over. But the problem is they need a security guarantee or contract with the rest of Europe and the United States to make sure if they did do something like that, would they be protected? I think Russia wants them to give up all of Donetsk, I think, which is like 20 or 30% more than they even have taken. It's way far away, guys. But I do feel really good about this relationship between the European leaders, Zelenskyy, even the United States. I feel like we got an open road. It's good. Lots of possibilities. Car or road trip feels like it's good. And maybe it has to do with them traveling and everybody's open to ideas and it hasn't happened yet. But yeah, Western Europe's over here, Russia, Ukraine. And I know that's not logistically where they are, but they're way over here. And Ukraine is by itself over to the other side. Adam Kissinger, I was watching his short video and he said, right now, we're like a Home Depot in a hurricane, meaning the United States. It's like we're giving them bombs and we're selling them stuff to help with their fight, but we're not really supporting them democratically or to promote democracy. So we're going to continue to sell them drones or bombs or whatever it is, but democratic support to change to fight fascism over there under Trump's term won't happen. I don't see anything. I do feel like the Europe and Zelensky's going to really have a good bond here at this point altogether. And the United States will come up with a way to make it look like a win. And we got farther on our discussions about the war. But as for that security detail, the security guarantee, it's like on the verge. It's not there yet. And maybe because it hasn't happened today. One time I was talking to my angels, side note, and I was really asking for guidance about something. And it was a woman or a female energy or voice. And she's like, I can't make those choices for you, but I can share with you, help you understand what's happening around you. So that made me realize more and more that free will, those choices, which are about free will, every day, every minute that we make these choices, can change everything, right? Our angels, they can't make the choices for us, but our will and our belief and faith can make miracles happen. So it's like, it's very interesting. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because it was really validating or explained a lot, All right. I'm going to look into Skinwalker Ranch and the name, even though I didn't know much more than the name, always bugged me because it reminds me of some really dark things from World War II. And I don't want to get into those right now. But anyway, I got into the energy of that space. It's in Utah. And I think it's owned by some people. Anyway, I pulled some cards and I got so many king cards. I got the King of Pentacles, I got the King of Cups, and I got the King of Swords. Then I got the Knight of Pentacles, also probably male, very slow, and the Knight of Cups. We have a lot of people, men energy, male energy, and then I got the Devil. So when I meditated on this, I got what I've seen before beneath Stonehenge and maybe other places in the earth. Somebody had suggested ley lines, but beneath the ground at Stonehenge and in Sedona, there's an energetic draw, and or it's a magnetic polarity that happens beneath the ground. And I think And it has to do with the stones too, or the rocks in Sedona, or the red rocks, and Utah's not far. There's something with the stones or the quartz or whatever it is that carries a vibration from this magnetic polarity coming from deep within the earth. And it's a draw to outside people or outside aliens from other universes. And the military became aware of it. This is my feeling. They became aware of it and began monitoring things. I think there are secrets that have been kept. I don't think we know all about what was there. The energy was being drawn. The aliens or whoever out there beyond our Earth, which billions of everywhere, people or entities or creatures or whatever they are, they're out there. And for whatever reason, this particular pull has made them curious and they've come to see what was going on. And I think that started the military looking from space, the Air Force, the planes and things saw different, lights or ships. I do think they saw ships. And I do think these aliens from a variety of places, I don't think just one, came to sort through, experiment, learn from our green planet. It was something about that. So there's a energetic draw. Men, and more men. I think now this is about money. This is about, it could be about military. It could be about the old energy. It's a very masculine energy. Normally Earth is female, Gaia. She's our Earth mother. In this situation, it feels male. And I don't know why. I guess maybe because of the military or the ancient things embedded in the dirt. Now, I'm always a believer that energy stays in the soil or stays in the place. Whatever's happened there, wars or love or prosperity, difficulties, they stay in the dirt unless we change that. Over time, we change the energies. These energies are still there. And that pull is still there. So there are people, and I do feel like it draws spirits, people that have not left the plane of Earth, that are floating around, that go, oh, that, because it's, I don't know how to, it's like a beam. It's like a beam of light. And people are going, oh, what's that over there? And they go towards it. So there's that. So the soil has those beings in it too. So there is layers of energetic worlds. I don't feel bad about it at all. I don't feel negative. I do feel like these beings from outside of our world come and they may do things that we think are bad, but for whatever reason, they are just doing them like it's unemotional, like experiments, animals, people, etc. For them, it's not like, oh, we need to hurt people. It's more about, oh, this is like an ant, and you take a magnifying glass and you burn it or something. It's kind of like that feeling I have, like it's just like a kid doing, oh, this is interesting. Let me take it apart. And I did see an old house, a decrepit, like old, like farmhouse that was gray and dark because it had been there so long. Don't even know if there's an old farmhouse or ranch house there, but it's almost fallen down. And I think that was it. Yeah. And it's like Sedona or Stonehenge, where there's an underground energy and the rocks. I do think it's a real thing. I think it's a special place. And I do think that the military, whatever they saw, they kept it under wraps, or the information, they've kept it under wraps. I think it's like, it's not a vast amount of evidence, so I don't know where it would be, but I do feel like now people are making money and they're, I don't want to say abusing. It doesn't do good for the soil either, or the earth. whatever they're doing now feels it's being abused in a way that's marketing. And one time I was in New Mexico, near Taos, New Mexico, in Santa Fe, and we stayed at this Caliente, which was a hot springs place with the mud, and it had a lot of minerals in it. It was supposed to be very healing. And it was an old building, old hotel, but it had all this, mud. You could get in the mud and cover yourself with the mud, or you can sit in the hot springs or the baths there. And hot caliente's hot water. So it was really interesting. But what I got there was an ancient pueblo. I thought thousands of Native Americans were there. And I felt that they didn't mind sharing the place because it was special and it was elevated spiritually. But what happened is they were upset that there was money being made from the place, and not just to cover costs, but to kind of abuse the beauty of it and abuse the traditional wisdom that they felt was there. And it's gotten like perverted with people trying to sell stuff, or, not for the right reasons. And they're still there, like thousands of them, and they're watching, and it's amazing. So that's the same feeling I have. I feel like I don't feel like there's a pueblo in this Utah area. I do feel like there's Native Americans nearby, but the earth is being taken advantage of for what it has. And it is a spiritual thing. It is a spiritual thing because the energy is very high. So we could use it for that, but I think it's been changed over the years, or it's been taken and transformed into something just marketable instead of transformed into something amazing and beautiful and speaking to other lands or other universes. Hopefully, I don't know if that clarified, but it was very interesting. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, I wanted to read some positive news. I know the Trump Zelenskyy meeting is happening now, so I'm going to post this, do anything, because all the stuff that I saw might be over and done with. But I saw this, get this email, positive news, and there's a couple things on here and I think it comes out of the UK. But it said, figures released by the FBI suggest that the U.S. murder rate saw its sharpest ever fall in 2024, dropping by 14.9%, eclipsing even 2023's substantial 10% decline. Overall violent crime was down 4.4%, reaching levels not seen since the 60s, according to Jeff Asher, who crunches crime data for Real-Time Crime Index. Property crime, meanwhile, saw the largest year-to-year decline on record. Property crime. America's crime trend in 2024 were remarkably positive, with an enormous decline in murder, a continued small but steady decline in violent crime, and a sizable decline in motor vehicle theft. And he reckons that 2025 is on track to be safer still. The thing is that people don't feel that. They're being told, again, fear sells. They're being told that there's an emergency. And there are people that hurt others and gang up on, there's a lot of stuff that happens. But generally, things are going down and are much better. There was this really cool thing about solar cells. Speaking of technology breakthroughs, scientists in the UK have claimed to have created indoor solar cells that can harvest enough energy to power everyday electronic devices. Indoor solar cells. The development, they say, paves the way for electronics such as keyboards, remote controls, and alarms to be powered by ambient light instead of batteries. And it's at the University College in London, engineered material called perovskite, which is used in outdoor solar panels that captures up to 6 times more indoor. And so they created this indoor light. They capture a lot more. And then eventually billions of devices that require small amounts of energy that rely on batteries would be sustainable with these type of solar cells. I can't repeat that. Yet at our low cost and use materials that are abundant on Earth and require only simple processing. They can be printed in the same way as the newspaper, and his teams are looking to scale the new technology. I love that. There's smart people everywhere in the whole world that are doing good things. Focus on that. 95% of everybody's pretty good. All right, you guys, take care. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. I continue to do this for the betterment of all and bring calm and light to the world when I can. And we're going to get through this, and you guys take care. Hope you have a good week.